Okay, rule number 5. So the classic mix-up with parentheses and exponents. I see this mistake so much that if I had a nickel every time a kid made this mistake, I'd be rich by now. So I have in this corner -3 squared. But down here I have, it looks like still -3 squared. So they look different. So are they actually different? In this case, yes. And why is that the case? Because it's not just -3 that I'm looking at in this problem. I have a squared. So exponents change the name of the game. Okay. So if you were to type negative and then a 3 and then a squared on your calculator is actually thinking this. That actually means -1 times 3 squared. Isn't that crazy? So that actually means -1 times the 3 that's squared. Okay, so if I were to do that, well, let's just change. We know that 3 times 3, 3 squared is 9. So really the problem you're supposed to be doing is -1 times 9. So in that case, my answer is -9. However, if you were to use parentheses just around the -3, so the squared is outside the parentheses. Okay, so this will be a common thing that you see throughout the whole year, and I want you to kind of nip it in the butt right now. That actually does mean what you want it to mean. It means -3 times -3. So those parentheses hold a lot of power here. They actually mean something different. They mean, hey, they want you to do the -3 times itself versus the previous one, which wanted you to just do 3 times 3 and then throw in the -1. So that's something to watch out for. So if you do -3 times -3, well, you get +9. So the first problem gave us -9. The second one gave us +9. There's a huge difference between those numbers, right? Something to really watch out for. So we're going to try that again, but we're going to use the -5 this time. Okay. So if you have -5 squared, okay, that actually implies that there's -1 times 5 squared. Right. We'll fill a little bit more out, but we're going to compare the bottom row as we go along. So if I have the -5 in parentheses and then the squared, that actually means -5 times itself. Can you see the difference between the two? So you really have to watch out for the parentheses. They are a huge game changer here. Well, I'm not going to write 5 squared. I'm going to change that to 25. So really, you're supposed to be doing -1 times 25. Okay, well, that would get me -25. Whereas if I do a negative times a negative, I actually get a positive. So in that case, my answer is +25. So look at how huge that is. There's a big difference between -25 and +25. So if you're one of those kids that always seems to mess up whenever there's negatives involved, that is a huge rule that you need to be on the lookout for.